I believe. Okay, I just started recording, and so good afternoon, everyone. And so I'm going to share the screen. I have a couple of slides for my PowerPoint. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay. So today we are here to talk about our National Library Week. Just a recap. And my name is Velapon. I am the head of access services in Chestnut Library in Fairfield State University for last 13 years. And I'm also serving in NCLA RAS as a college and university representative. And this is my first time I'm doing NCLA RAS bus section. So we can just, it's very informal section. So we can discuss a couple of things about National Library Week recap and just, reflections, what we did in a university and how you want to improve and what are the thoughts in the future. So we can just talk about anything. Okay, and I will go for the next slide. Maybe we can introduce quickly if anyone wants to introduce that. Maybe a few more minutes, we can introduce everyone. There is no order. Anyone can go first. Yeah, thank you.
I don't mind jumping in.
Okay.
I'm Susanna Goldman. I'm the director of the Alamance County Public Library and also the acting chair, not the acting chair, the current chair for the RAS section.
Thank you, Susanna. Okay.
I can go next. I'm Carrie Forbes. I work at East Carolina University in the Health Sciences Library. I'm a nursing liaison librarian. And I think Amy Curtis is here from ECU as well.
Yeah, I saw her. Okay.
Hi, Amy.
Yeah, hi. I'll just go. I'm the science librarian in the other library on campus.
Thank you. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Carrie.
Hi, I'm Africa Hands. I am an assistant professor in the library science program at East Carolina University.
Oh, nice meeting you, Dr. Africa Hands. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone? Okay, so we can just start the presentation. So we'll go for the next one. This is a flyer. I think probably you already saw this one. So we're going to just reflect on programming about National Library Week. We can discuss some ideas for the future and what we did, earlier. Just we can, have a conversation today. Okay. And there are a couple of questions today. We can go one by one. And this is the total 5 questions we have for the discussion topic. And the first one, we can start with the first one with, So do you create a digital display or social media post reflecting this year's National Library Week theme, that is welcome to a library? And also the second part of the discussion, number 1, do you create a hashtag for a library for NLW? So I will go first. For Fairfield State University, we have Charles W. Chestnut Library. So we did in person a National Library Week. There are so many events, so much events on the whole week. We did only 2019 because of COVID-19. We didn't do 2020 and even this year. But we did some digital display in the library. We have a digital display box. There are 2 or 3 on the front lobby area. So we added some to go with the theme, like welcome to library. We had some popular books and also to welcome the faculty and students. Before the spring semester, we got some display and then we added more based on this theme this month. And we always we change the display box with the current event like Black History Month, Women Leadership. We always changing every month. Whatever the events coming up through ALA, we will change that. And also we create a hashtag. We have the social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and also we got the blogs. So we create a hashtag that is hashtag Chestnut NLW 2021. That's the one. We share the information through Twitter and also the campus wide. That's all we did. We didn't do anything elaborately, but we have the staff members working 50% capacity, and we open Monday through Friday, but limited hours, and Saturday we completely remote, and Sunday we also rotate all the librarians. We open just 6 hours on Sundays. So we had very limited students staying in the campus, taking in-person classes. So we don't have many traffic, but I think we are, doing good. So this is what we did for this year. We didn't do elaborately. We didn't invite anybody to do the presentation, anything to the library. Yeah. So anyone want to discuss about this? Just jumping if you want to add something to this.
So I'm gonna say my library system definitely uses social media a lot. We're a public library, so there, it's very big on how we get the word out. I want to say this year we focused a little bit more on, we asked for PSA videos from various power holders in our community to be able to share why they loved libraries and what they, how they appreciate libraries in the community, which is the first time we've done that. So we only got a few back, but when we did share them, they were really popular. And we did it that way this year, along with the regular sort of virtual programming that we were doing, because we haven't done any in-person type of anything yet. We're working on in-person outdoor at the moment. And when it comes to hashtags, I want to say we are not good at hashtags in any subject matter for anything. And I want to say the reason for that is because all of us that have access and permissions to post in our social media, which is highly regulated by our county IT department, don't really understand the hashtags.
Okay.
And so, and we're honest about it. Like we're like, okay, in theory, we know what they're supposed to be, but I don't know how to make it work the way we think it should work. If there was someone who grew up knowing this stuff, the younger generation knows it. So we are not the greatest at hashtags on any of our platforms.
That's great. Okay.
And I'm not sure, Velopun, if you can see chat when you're screen sharing, but one of the attendees doesn't have microphone or speakers because she's actively on a desk right now. So she's using the chat.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I think yeah, I didn't.
I should say I can read it if you can't see it.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Her name is Courtney, and she is from Durham Tech. So she said she's currently on the reference desk, and her answer to this is they participated in Library Fest with Durham County Library this year by interviewing Fest guests on their podcast. They also did a blog and social media posts and a giveaway for people who filled out a survey on why they love their library.
That's great. Yeah, thank you, Courtney. Okay. Okay. Anyone have any thoughts on this? If you create any hashtag, or if you have a digital display, or just having a post to the social media, just share with us. Okay. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I think yes. This is yeah. I know I can understand the IT department. We do have the Fayetteville State University. Whatever we do in the social media, I think every year we have to sign the agreement form. We got the public relation department and the marketing department. So we got to submit the form with whatever we have, the social media tools like Instagram, anything, YouTube, anything if we have to sign in, and then we got to show, we got to add the admin, who are all the editors and co-editors, all the information we got to submit to marketing department. So they have the regulate, they usually regulate everything. And one of the staff member from marketing department, they also added to each and every social media of all the department pages. So if anything, if they see any inappropriate, they can immediately delete the information or block the user or anything. Yeah. So they do have a control, but we also have a control to post anything. But they always share logos and everything, marketing materials. So it will be useful for us. We can use the same, because because they're very cautious about the branding. So we don't want to, use any different color of FSU logo or anything. So we have to use the same one throughout the campus. Yeah, I think that's how it works here. Yeah, but we do have some flexibility to post materials, anything to social media from the library. And me and one of my other staff member, we both are taking in charge for the social media postings. Yeah, so she's also library support technician. Her name is Nicole Young. She's also sharing a lot of information to social media. Okay, so we will go to the second one. And this is more about blog posts. Do you create a blog post or a social media? A little bit same thing of what we discussed earlier. So showcasing your library's outreach services and how they keep the community connected to essential resources. It based on National Library Week or anything, do you have, keep the community, how you doing with your resources? And what we do in the Fayetteville State, we do have a blog. I think for a long time, even before I joined in FSU Library, they have it's a very basic thing. It's not a very fancy blog. It's a WordPress, but we have the quite popular blog. And when the FSU news, when they send the email throughout the campus, they save all the information through the blog. So the Chestnut Library blog also part of the FSU news. So whatever we post in the library blog, it's actually archived in FSU events and news. So I think that'll be good. If anyone go to FSU news and events, they're also able to see our library blog. So in that way, we can connect to the campus community. It's very, very up to date, and you can easily connect the faculty and students with sharing all the resources through the blogs. And definitely social media, we use a lot social media, especially for this COVID situation. We are using a lot of social media tools to share the information, about the library events or any new anything, new books or new database, anything. If you have anything, something we want to share to the community, we always use a social media or library blog. Anyone want to share anything?
This is Rachel. I just got back. I'm sorry. I had to take a call. But we used, for the NCLA social media, we actually used the press kit that the American Library Association put out for National Library Week. Like they had a bunch of resources, like graphics already made, for it. And they had a hashtag and everything. So I would say we mostly used that and sort of tried to get people to respond and, talk about what they're doing and things like that. We kind of had some mixed results, but yeah, that's kind of how we approached it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think I just, let me see. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, I think I missed.
I think your question was a little bit about outreach as well.
Yeah.
And so I believe it's Wednesday of National Library Week is about outreach, and if you have mobile vehicles and things like that. So we have that department here. We're about to get a mobile library. We have a mobile internet vehicle and do homebound patrons. So on Wednesday, we had a very heavy presence in our social media. The staff gave videos to sort of talk people and explain things through it. And there were a few sort of behind the scenes videos of what the outreach department looks like, because that's a closed stack. Patrons aren't allowed back there. So they did some heavier presence stuff for that on that day as well.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, good to know that. Anyone want to jump in? Okay, so we'll go to the next one. And this is more about blog post. Do you draft a blog post or newsletter story? No, I think I missed this one. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, third one. So do you post the Throwback Thursday content on social media, highlighting your library's history or your archives department, anything? Do you use the hashtag like Throwback Thursday on sharing information, or do you keep in your archive department anything related to National Library Week events or any information, any documents, anything? And we do use the Throwback Thursday hashtag every Thursday, most of the time, but not all the week. And so we are, sharing information through the whatever we forgot to share the campus wide, we always bring it back to on Thursday. We just share everything together. So we send it to campus wide, Throwback Thursday, and also add it to the blog. And we keep most of the library events, documents, flyers, and everything, hard copy and the digital copy. We keep everything in archive department. In case if anyone need it in the future, we always keep in both format. Yeah. Anyone want to share anything about this?
We definitely do a Throwback Thursday here, not just for National Library Week, but sort of randomly whenever.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, it's usually when we find a good old photo of either former staff or current staff when they started working here 20 years ago, or a department before a renovation type of thing, more than anything. But when it comes to archives, yeah, we don't have that.
Okay.
Physical copy, hard copy, and even digital copies of things get purged as soon as we run out of space on our computers or in our emails. So
that's great. Yeah. I think mostly we prefer to, we have the portable, we purchase portable hard drives for our archive department. So we do have 3 TB portable hard drives. So we pretty much keep everything in the hobby. The archive assistant, so she's the one, Nicole Young. So she's keeping all the information, flyers, and anything, any documents. She always add it to the digital format. So we keep it in the archive department. Just for the library events, just keep one hard drive for that. And we get a different hard drive for different purpose, but just we have one for library events. Yeah. Anyone want to share anything about this Throwback Thursday content on social media? And also we do have the our library is we recently celebrated 150th year celebration. So we do have a lot of history behind Fayetteville State University, and we got a great archive department. We keep a lot of historical documents and pictures and other objects and everything. So we keep everything in the archive department. And also we have the government repository, we got the government documents department as well. So we keep most of the university records and government documents and everything in the 4th floor. So we do have a big division to keep everything, to archive everything in our library. Yeah. Anyone want to jump in to discuss, just to share your ideas or anything, what you did in your library? And any thoughts and anything we can do differently? Okay, so we will go for the next slide. And this one is, do you use any customizable National Library Week Canva template or any flyer to promote your library's resources? Yeah, we do always, I'll go with the FSU first, and we do use templates, but not exactly from Canva. We do also use Canva, but we mostly use the Microsoft PowerPoint and Prezi and other things. We create templates by using different tools, and also we create flyers from a publisher and other Microsoft tools to be always sending information to campus-wide. Pretty much every beginning of the semester, we share the information to faculty, Senate, and also the faculty, just for the faculty group email. So we send it to marketing department, so they share to the faculty members. for the library new resources for every semester. Whatever we bought, especially for the beginning of the budget year, whatever we bought new database, new journals or new books and electronic books and everything, anything new, if we want to share to the campus wide, so we always send it to the, we create a nice flyer using template, a Canva template and using other templates and share it to the campus wide. And that's always we receive a good response from faculty. They always asking questions about databases and asking, sometimes they have a, they're requesting the new database. For example, recently they in the business department, they started entrepreneurship just for the couple of courses they started. So they need a database for entrepreneurship. So they request to our library director, and I'm the library liaison to the business and management department. So I work with the faculty members. So we got all the information and we share to the director, and we work together and create and pitch in the budget and everything. So finally we got a couple of databases and some journal as well. So in that way, we can always communicate with the faculty in a good way to reach the faculty members whatever they need, and they want to know what we have in the library. Sometimes they have no idea what we are usually buying everything, but they don't know what we have in the library. A lot of faculty members, they didn't go to the library website, and they're not looking every time. So we have to share frequently, at least yearly, 2 times, 3 times. We have to share the library resources using the flyers. That's what we do. Same thing for the National Library Week. We usually send some information to the campus wide. Whenever they come to library, they can just visit the library. They see the display board. And before COVID, we had a lot of programs on the National Library Week. We invite our FS faculty members so they can talk about their department. And also we also have a presentation in the library. We talk about library resources, and also we in 2019 we got all week, every day, Monday to Friday, we got a program. So I talk about open education resources, what we have in the library and what is available online, the free of charge, and different companies, they're offering free online open education resources. So those things, we had great programs when we had a real, before COVID-19. Every year we do have programs to invite the faculty and the students to the library for the National Library Week time. Anyone want to share anything about this?
My library system switched to using Canva this year. We were able to discover that using our 501c3 friends group, we could get a majorly discounted price to get the pro package of Canva.
That's great. Okay.
Which was important because people didn't like Canva without the pro, because that's what allows you to adjust, copy and adjust without having to go crazy. And so when we were able to figure that out, it ends up being like 100 and something a year instead of like 400 to 500 something a year for our users. We switched to Canva heavily for everything. And we're able to come up, we actually put a marketing plan together once we sort of figured out this was going to work, in order to organize our branding and make it more universal. So we do still have 4 or 5 people that put together the marketing, but they now have set, requirements about our logo and library name and stuff, and where those are all supposed to go. And then it's really helpful because our website person and our newsletter person, who are all different people, and our social media person, which is another separate person, all have access to it and can just download things from there in order to post on their respective responsibilities. And it has been super helpful when we have they've been doing virtual story times, and there's a template, and then the template gets copied by the next person and gets modified for the theme from time to time, whoever's responsible for it. And so that's been really nice to be able to share. And we do use it to share resources. Our social media person doesn't like it when I request that they do that, because those never get a lot of likes and they never get a lot of interactions. But I like it because I get a lot of statistics on those resources when we actually post those things. And so we do that as well, but it's usually less often when we share resources, and it's one at a time. you know, don't forget you can download books, or don't forget we have streaming movies through Hoopla or whatever. We don't focus as much on the ones that are NC Live resources to promote. Additionally, usually we just focus on the ones that are patron interaction or downloads or things they would do from home. But it has been very helpful in figuring out that we could use the nonprofit status to get a more affordable rate for the pro package was like a lifesaver.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I think that'll be really helpful. Yeah, if you have a Canva Pro, because the Canva, the free version is not that great. I think it's good for the basic things, but definitely you need a Pro. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big game changer with the public library because we have a very small budget that we can do things
Right.
with.
Yeah. For us, we do have a Canva Pro from our IT department. So they do have they purchased earlier and then they shared with the different departments. So that's when we got it from ITTS. Yeah. Okay, anyone want to share? Any
I think
thoughts on
both
this?
Carrie and Courtney are in chat communicating that yes, they do use Canva as well.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Yeah, recently I heard from different, I think a lot of people, they're using Canva recently. And they like it really, you know, they are great. They already have nice templates and everything. So you can just pick a template and just modify a little bit. I think it will be nice. Yeah. Okay. So usually as a host, you cannot see the chat section, right? Because I couldn't see that, right? Yeah.
When you're sharing your screen, I think it makes chat different.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Probably we get to, you know, stop sharing and then we see it. Okay. Okay. And the next one I have. Okay. Do you draft a blog post? Yeah. Or newsletter story? Yeah. Recapping your library's participation in NLW after the event. Yeah. So we, for FSU Library, we do have a blog post every time. I already mentioned to you. So we actually create a blog post to share the story towards library participation in NLW. We always share the story to the one in the campus wide and also the social media and the blog. So every time we are not only NLW, any events like Black History Month or Women History or any event in the library, we always create a nice story, just a feedback from other, sometimes students feedback and faculty feedback as well. We added everything in a one small story, and then we share to the blog, library blog, and our social media, also the campus wide. Sometimes we have the statistics after the National Library Week, so we also share those statistics to the to the people who want to see how many participants attended the NLW at the library. And for last year and this year, everything remote. So we have some remote statistics, for the social media. That's all we have. But when you have an event at the campus library, then you do have real, numbers, whoever came to the library and attend the programs. And in actually 2019, we did, I think I have the flyer here. We did a couple of programs just for one day, dedicated one day. I think on the Thursday, Monday through Friday, we had programs. On Thursday, just for the library resources, we want to share to everybody. And then we got the separate breakout section, like archives, one section. And then we got the writing center. We invite writing center person to talk about the writing center, how they help the library and the students and faculty members. Also, we invite Fulbright scholars. We get some 4 faculty members from other countries. So we invite them. They came to library. They talk about their country, and they talk about the culture, value, backgrounds, everything. So that will be helpful for international students. We invite the department students as well. So they learned so much from other, country information through the Fulbright scholars. And also we invite some faculty members to talk about their books. Actually, they wrote a lot of books. They're the authors. So they quickly talk about the 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They talk about their books and everything. So we do have the one day just for the library staff members and the faculty. So we do have the all-day programs one day. And also different days, we actually invite from people from local, from Cumberland County Public Library staff members, the director, and there's other librarian. They came and they talk about their, their marketing strategies and everything. And also we invite, there is two of them from, let me see, Campbell University. So we invite, that's the Fayetteville, Lillington is very 40 minutes drive. So we invite, there are two librarians from Campbell University. They also came and did a presentation in our library. So we try to, invite more people from outside and to engage our students and faculty members, staff members to, create awareness about the National Library Week. Yeah, that's what we do, most of the time every year, but except these last 2 years. This year and last year, we didn't do anything like this. Yeah. But definitely we always share the information through the newsletter. Yeah. Anyone wants to share anything about how you do you share information?
My library has a like a newsletter called Library Columns that goes out, and I think they recap some things in there. And then we also have like a weekly campus newsletter that goes out, and sometimes our public events people will put stories in there. So yeah, it's been quiet the last couple of years because with COVID, we haven't been able to do much, but it does. There are definitely ways for us to get things out there.
True. Yeah. And sometimes we also share the information. We have the student magazine. It's called Voice. So we actually sometimes the student, the magazine editors, they contact one of the librarians. So they want to, they want us to talk about the library events or anything. So especially for the National Library Week or Black History Month, they always want to have one, just for the one small paragraph, you talk about, events. And they want to show, they always want to share through the Voice magazine. So that will be nice to reach the students directly from the librarian point of view. Yeah, that's other way we always do that. They also have recently they have a digital format of Voice. That's nice to share. They actually share in the different social media, the Voice magazine. That will be really nice. Our librarians be sharing information through the student magazine. Yeah. Anyone wants to share your thoughts and ideas? Anything on the chat, Susanna, Rachel?
I don't see anything additional on the chat.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Anyone have any different ideas on how you sharing information for not only National Library Week or any other events? And do you have any specific person handling social media or just anything you want to share? Just we can just learn from each other.
My library system does have one specific person who does social media, and we're actually revising how we do that because they burn out so quickly by being the sole person responsible for it. So we are working on more of a social media team where there's a number of people who, as a part of their duties, put together some of the stuff they already do for programs, like on Canva, they also create one for social media. Because it's, we've burned out people within less than 2 years, they're really just tired of it, which is hard sometimes because they're the ones that really rock at it. So that's how they sort of fell into it in the first place. But so if we can, we're trying to figure out a way to better sort of support each other in things that people are already doing. And that was kind of why Canva became such a big deal, because people were making banner images for our website and our newsletter, and the pro version allows you to very easily resize something for a social media post instead of having to start from scratch and copy it all over and do this craziness. And so our social media person also went on maternity leave recently. So that was like a scramble to figure out how do we cover when the rest of us don't know enough to do this.
Right,
And
yeah.
so we've been covering, but also developing a better game plan so that when she comes out, she's a part of a team involved in it and not just overburdening one person.
That's great. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then in
Yeah.
chat here, Velapan, Courtney says content creation can be exhausting and that their Durham Tech there, they have 2 people doing it and they struggle with that.
Yeah, always it's very challenging. Yeah, even for our library, we got 2 people, me and another staff member. But yeah, sometimes it's so much to do, because you have your own responsibilities in your department. Because I'm the head of access services, I have to, cover my department, and we got to teach class. All the librarians, we got to teach class, and for the subject librarians, and we do have to cover the reference desk. And also sometimes I need to cover my circulation department as well. If my staff member are sick or anything needed, I have to cover. There is so much to do. Sometimes it's exhausting. Yeah, when you do the social creating content, it's not easy. Yeah, but definitely Canva Pro helps a lot, like you said. Yeah.
Yes. And then Amy had a comment in chat. She said she enjoys using Spark Pages to create infographic versions of things to share.
Oh, okay.
But she is also not the only person who does social media posting. And then Tim mentioned that he thinks social media is shared by the librarians there at WCU.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's always so much to do with, who are doing social media. It's a lot of work. Yeah, definitely. But when you start, if you have a content and if you have a template already pre-made, I think it'll be nice. You can just always tweak it and then just add some content. It'll be easier. Otherwise, it's so exhausting. Yeah. Okay. And anyone have directly? Can you because I know public library, you guys do a lot of programmings and events compared to academic libraries. And how do you, because sometimes even the handling doing programs also very exhausting, so much work to do from beginning to end. I don't know how you guys managing, because every time when we do, it's so exhausting. Yeah, it's so much to do. Yeah.
It's very true that there is a large programming team, and that's part of the reason it's so large is because you're sharing the load. So we should have learned that when it came to social media, that you need to share the load sort of mentality, because without 9 children's programming across 3 branches, you wouldn't be able to do as many weekly programs, when in-person programs were a thing. And it's the same when we switch to virtual programs. It seems in many ways it seemed harder to do virtual programs than to do an in-person program, because you really have to think about your your tone of voice, the wording you used, where your hands were, what were they doing, you have to think about that, and you end up pausing and starting and pausing and starting when you're trying to record all the time, because you can go back and second guess yourself. So it seems like more stressful, more work when you're trying to record a story time. And so sharing the load has been a saving grace.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. I honestly agree with you. That's a lot of work. Yeah, I think especially last year, this year is okay because more we are doing only digital. But if you have a real, in-person program, that's a lot. You have to, set up the room and set up the place and everything, and refreshments and everything, and the decorations. That's a lot. Yeah, a lot to focus on each and every event. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Okay. And I think we kind of complete those questions. And any final thoughts? Anyone have any final thoughts? Maybe I can stop sharing here so anyone can also see. Okay. Any final thoughts? Anyone have any ideas? Well, what it, how it works and what it worked well? Some of them maybe it may not, what do you think? It may not work well, very well. Maybe you have some different ideas. Maybe next year you want to change something. And for us, I think it's always challenging when you do the in-person programming. Yeah, it's hard to reach the students and faculty members to invite them. So we have to find a different ways to blog post and sharing the campus email and the social media and everything. It's so much to do to invite people to to reach them. that's really challenging. That's what we're still struggling, but we're doing okay, but we still, working on it. How you reach the people, to attend the event, to come to library and attend the event and get the information. That's really challenging always. Yeah. Any final thoughts, anyone? You want to do something differently next year, or?
Hopefully in person. I miss in person and word
I
of
know.
mouth. Like, here's hoping for in person.
True. Yeah. Yeah, that's really, I really want to, meet people, it's all, even the faculty, we always seeing through the video, Zoom, everything. And yeah, and now we're using more Canvas. Yeah, we're using the Canvas page for, we can do the video chat through the faculty and the students. We are using a lot. And we do also teaching library classes through Canvas page. Yeah, so we create a library orientation page, separate course. We invite all the students and faculty members. So they have to take, before they take the courses, every beginning of semester, they have to take the library orientation course. It's non-credit, but I think they can learn a lot of things. Yeah, and they will contact either one of the librarians and for any questions. Yeah, so I think we're doing okay, but I think everyone learned, very quickly. I'm glad, even the faculty and students, they're very comfortable now to learning everything through online. But I'm glad it's a new normal life, but I think everything working good. Yeah, but I still miss the face-to-face conversation and meeting people. Yeah. Okay, any thoughts? Anyone? Rachel and Tim, Courtney. Let me see the chat box. Okay, I can see.
Thank
now
you
the
for
chat.
hosting. This is great.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, thank you for, you're guys doing great. And this is the first time. I'm glad you helped me a lot, and thank you so much. I'm reading the blog now. Okay, that's great. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Tim, Courtney, Rachel, and Susanna, Amy, everyone. Okay, anyone have any final thoughts? Anyone? Time is 2:46. We still have a couple of minutes. And we'd have a meeting after this, right, Susanna? Okay, that's great. Okay, so have a great afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for attending the NCLA RAS bus section. And I will stop the recording now. Okay. Thank you.